Chip. How's it going?
Kimberly Perry. It's going great. Oh, my goodness. It's been so long. How are you?
It has been a minute. I am so good. We are just right in the middle of season of birth and music and baby and all the things at the same time.
No, we're going to try to see what we can find out. It's so good to have you, not like you really ever left, but you're back, if that makes sense. I know 2005 with the band, and now here it is 2023, and the band's gone on hiatus, and you're out doing your own thing. And let's talk about that a little bit. Where did you go when you left country radio?
We call those the Dan Perry college years. Some people define that season as like EDM and electronic music. I didn't really define it that way. There was a lot that was going on in that moment. There in the life of an artist, especially in a commercial artist, there are like two halves. There's a couple of sides that go into making decisions for your career. Of course, the artist has a say-so in those things. There's also a circle of people around you that are also helping you make your decisions. And I think there were times when Reed and Neil and I would kind of look around and go like, I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster, but I definitely don't have the steering wheel, And so I think that led us to a couple of different seasons. But in 2020, when the whole world was still for a second, the three of us really got to sit down together and have some pretty transparent conversations about like life first. It's like we've been traveling together since we were 15, 8, and 10, and there are some things on the table of life that we haven't gotten to do yet individually, like, build our own families. Sure. And that was something really, really important to me as the oldest. It was also important for me to get back to my core creative that I have always been able to identify as the first version of If I Die Young because I wrote it by myself. And it has always felt like the most kind of pure sense of how I feel music and how I like to write it. And so I got to really reconnect with that during 2020. And Reed and Neil were getting in touch with like what they wanted to do creatively. So that was really the earliest genesis of the idea of a solo career. And that just grew as I met my husband, and we moved to Nashville. And
now
writing.
You got a little one coming.
Got a baby on the way.
Yeah, girl.
So many changes,
Yeah, but your heart has always been country.
It has, and I also think it's just like the thing I'm good at. It's like I wish that I was an amazing 6'3" basketball player, but I'm not. I think that while we've tried on different skin and explored different things creatively, and there were three of us in the band, right? So everybody gets to kind of inform that. But for me, to be able to come back around and know what I'm the best at and the most natural at and know what my heart leans towards, it's been just really cool to reconnect with that.
Yeah, you've never stopped writing.
Never, no.
Never. And you've got yourself a publishing deal, which is cool.
I do, yeah. With Warner Chappell and Songs and Daughters. And Songs and Daughters was started by Nicole Gallion, who is just one of my favorite co-writers and creative sisters here in Nashville.
I love it. And you got signed to a brand new label. And I love them, by the way. They are so, so good. Let's talk about the EP now. You've put together the EP. It's called Bloom. Why did you call it Bloom?
So the title came from a line in the pre-chorus of If I Die Young Part 2. It says, I've had time to bloom. And that just felt like the one word that really defined the last couple years of my life. The Bloom Project is going to exist in a couple of EPs, and this first one coming out on June 9th. The theme of it, the strongest theme running through it, I believe, is like dealing with creating the space in our lives to be able to bloom and to blossom. And so many of the most intrinsic relationships in my life have changed a lot over the last couple of years. And on one hand, like dealing with the heart fallout from that. I'll sing about that on this first project, but also the space that created for all of these things in my life to manifest will also make its way into those songs. So it's been kind of a dichotomy, but that's life, that is living.
Yeah. I'm looking at the titles of all 5 tracks. Of course, If I Die Young Part 2, but the other 4, are these personal experiences or bring that to light, or is it just whatever came to your mind?
All of them are very personal experiences.
Awesome.
That's who I am as a writer. I really, I'm not able to sort of just pull a concept from the blue. I just have to be living it and feeling it to be able to write it.
I mean, and that makes for a great song if it's the real deal. Are you feeling like, you guys made it? The band Perry made it. And in the beginning, you went out on the radio tour and you did all this stuff, just like I'm talking to you now. Are you reminiscing about those days? Because now here you are as an individual artist, kind of starting all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I loved our earliest days. They are the most romantic, and I keep saying, like, I feel like a new artist, but with benefits, because
that's a good way to put it.
It's really cool to get to know everybody, but be reconnecting. Like, it's almost sweeter, but it's also equally exciting as if it was the first go-around. So I'm having so much fun.
So when is the baby due?
The baby is due the last week of August, so I've been told it's going to be a hot, uncomfortable summer. Everybody just said, just find a pool and float.
There you go. Just float and enjoy it. But you know what? Then while you're doing that, you're going to have some great ideas for more music. What about an album down the road?
So the Bloom Project will make its way into a full album. Basically, I'm writing right now for what will become the second half, and I head into the studio I believe the third week of June to cut part 2 of all of this. So it's been so cool for it to be a project that has been evolving as I've been sort of reshaping my life and redefining my name. And I already am in love with the songs that we have for the back half as well. Yeah,
absolutely. If I Die Young Part 2, that pretty much picks up where Part 1 left off. You go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it's a full circle moment. It's that girl who didn't actually die young. What's she thinking about 10 years later? What has come into her life that she was only dreaming about back then?
And what about TikTok and Instagram? You're all over that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to TikTok, which I'm going to have to say the dopamine hits of something going viral on the talk, that's a real thing. Yes. I put out the chorus for If I Die Young Part 2, and I woke up the next morning, and it already had like a million hits, and we're at 3 million now. And I'm like, whoa, this is a wild, wild west that I never anticipated, So that's been a really fun thing.
And what a change that is from when you guys first started way back in the day, because you didn't have TikTok, you didn't have the Instagram. Now look, it's all right there instantly.
It is, and I think the coolest thing about it are just like getting to read comments in real time. Like, how are people feeling this? Everything that we set out with the intention to communicate with If I Die Young Part 2 seems to be what the majority are taking from it, and that's been a really cool thing to see.
It's definitely hitting a lot of hearts. You moved to Nashville, finally.
I did, the 615. It's been my favorite thing. I've dreamt about it since I was a kid, but, most of the Perry family wanted to move to the mountains over in East Tennessee, and so I did that, and we toured, actually. Our bus was parked over there. So to finally be here and be building friendships alongside of my creative brothers and sisters, it's just been like a dream come true and really transformative for me.
Are you out near Franklin?
So we are actually close to Kingston Springs, which is like, if you're on I-40, we're exit 188.
It's a good way to say it. Right off exit 188. I get it. Kimberly Perry, first of all, congrats on the, the upcoming birth of boy or girl. Do you know yet?
It's going to be a little boy.
Yay! Yeah. How about names, or are you keeping that a secret?
No, we're going to name him Whitaker James Costello. My husband is Johnny Costello.
Yes, I love that, Whitaker. I love that.
It's a handsome name. We can't wait for him to get here.
It is. Well, congratulations on that. We're very excited for you. We can't wait to hear the full album, the extension of the Bloom EP, when that is available. Of course, right now, as of today, it's If I Die Young Part 2 is on the radio, and it can be heard right here on The Wolf real soon. Kimberly, thanks for taking a little bit of time out to check in with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
See ya.